Sunshine Robbie here. Just a little feedback and update on the lunar energies. We are entering the first quarter moon. The first quarter moon right after this new moon, and I'm sure you have come through lots of awareness. And if you are following this guidance, if you are resonant with the fact that you're noticing a lot of opening awareness about communication within yourself and others, energetic communication, how you see the world, how you feel the world, how you connect with your intuition, how you play with your intuition, communication on your emotional level and of course language level and body, physical level. So as we are coming from new moon, all these things that have been highlighted too, perhaps quite a lot of information, more than you can cope, and you're probably thinking, am I going to remember which information is the ones to work with? It's all about relaxing, allowing the brain to bring it to you. So be conscious to bring it to you, because you already set your foot on this journey, and once you set your foot on this journey, the universe is going to bring it what you need. So the idea is to allow yourself now in the first quarter moon to, through your interactions, whether you're interacting meditation with the universe, whether you're interacting with people, whether you're interacting through physical body language, however you're communicating, it's about now noticing, which is going to come up to you, noticing that how are you perceiving communication? For example, today I realized I was creating a codependency from people's mistakes, especially if that mistake causes a change in my reality. And I was setting myself off in victimhood, right? Oh, it's happened to me. Why did they do this? And now I'm going to have to sort this out, and this, going into this victimhood. And I could feel the energy in my chest, and I could feel it building up. And I'm thinking, why am I getting so triggered? And I knew the mistake was minor, and I knew it could be fixed. And I knew there was a solution, but I was riding all these. First of all, I felt energetically, and then I went emotionally, and then I went cognitive. And I realized I was codependent someone's behavior, and because of someone's behavior I was creating a different behavior. And then a similar situation happened through a completely different story, but it was again another mistake, which then I felt injustice, I felt victimized, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, this is the same thing again. What am I missing? So I stopped to actually, go into my heart, as I always say, go in my heart, meditate. And what the information that came through was that there was this codependency, that how people actions, reactions, how it perhaps it projected back at you, or is a mistake that causes a change in your reality. How do we react? Okay, how do we react? And there's a place and a moment to sit and understand that, whatever is happening is meant to happen. Whether the mistake has a solution or not, it's meant to happen. It's a navigation that we're going to go through for whatever purpose. But the purpose of this today, for me, was to see that I was creating codependency from people's behavior. Okay, and we're all going to live in this world where everyone has a behavior and a trigger, and it's very difficult to live in a world where you live through your whole life and there is no triggers. And yes, you could be asking, so am I fixing every trigger that I encounter? Not necessarily. You will have your baseline of self-protection, survival mode, your baseline of love, your baseline of anger, your baseline of frustration, resentment, grief. You're going to have your baseline for all these emotions, but it's about feeling, moving through it, dissolving, carry on. And what we were doing in the past, what we did in the past was about, being afraid to even move through it, but retaining, holding to a point where it was causing all the sets of behaviors in ourselves, all the sets of coping mechanisms in ourselves, all the sets of trauma bonds in ourselves, and we're carrying that on with us. Everything is being, it's like a heavy luggage on your shoulders, and we're just carrying that on in our patterns. And the idea is to flow with the universe. This idea to be fluid, to be changed, to be changeable, to be open. And when we are open, yes, we go through anger, but then there's no projection into people. There is no codependency into situations. You're angry, you're happy, right? And it's not about creating a bond between one thing and another. And even though when I realized about this mistake that could cause quite a major change to my circumstances right now, I realized that there is a moment, there's a space that we can receive the information and realize, well, it could cause a major situation to me. But for me to retain my clarity, to be able to see the outcome or the different timelines I could step into, is really taking that time and sitting with your sensations, your emotions, with what your subconscious need to come to bring it to you, recenter, reground, and then make your step forward. Today, I could feel the winding up of trigger, the emotions, and I just recenter myself, went in, and that's when I realized that I was about to step in the timeline of that victimhood, and I would have sat in there and I would make it all believe that everyone was doing it to hurt me, to upset me, to victimhood. And I realized, no, they're not. They made a mistake. Everyone makes a mistake. And I am at a point where I'm accepting my own mistakes. And I thought, well, this is a duality. So if I can accept my own mistakes, I can accept the mistakes of others without that being a codependency to a victimhood state of being, that I don't need to run, I don't need to ride in this wave to get to a solution. Yeah. So I was able to step back, I was able to step in, I was able to ground, and I saw this codependency, and I realized, okay, I understand now, and with more clarity, I can go back and have a conversation instead of a projection, instead of an argument, instead of showing projected through my frustration. Okay. And this is not about controlling, but when I went in, I saw the fluidity of the situation, or the possible timelines I could be stepping into. So what I'm trying to bring here with that story is that the first quarter moon, you are going to be in a new moon. It's awareness. It's a understanding that something doesn't feel right through this. First quarter moon, you are in this. You are in the situation, actually picking it up, those little awarenesses that you received during the new moon. But it's becoming clearer, and not necessarily is a moment of full action. For example, from this point on, I could go back and say, I'm sorry how I reacted, I'm sorry how I acted, I understand the mistake, let's try to fix it. It's a moment of action. I could wait until the last quarter moon for me to do that and use that energy for integration. But I do know that through the full moon, which is between now and the next one, there will be a lot more coming through and a lot more understanding from this situation itself. There'll be new depths of information, because in the full moon, we go through everything all at once. And from there, you'll be able to pick the emotions that you resonate with your true nature more so, and you're going to be able to pick the emotions that have come from traumas or programming or other type of places that shaped who you are today, and you're going to decide if it resonates to keep or not to keep. And once you go through that sifting, yeah, you're going to sift through all these emotions through the full moon. And that's why it's a very intense. It can be very intense. It can be a roller coaster. It can be a bit overwhelming. So then the last quarter moon that we're going to step into that space of, right, I'm going to use this which resonate with me. When that situation comes, I'm going to break that cycle through this step. I'm going to enhance this cycle through this pattern. I'm going to use this pattern but not this one. And this is your action integration, where you're putting everything, all the little puzzles together to really bring out of you that version that you feel is more resonant to love, to unconditional love, to self-love. So if anything's coming up to you now in this first quarter moon, you know, between yesterday, today, and the next few days, up to about 7 days, take a moment to journal, take a moment to write down. It will be big aha moments for you. It will be big clicks in your consciousness, big clicks in your understanding why you do certain things, the way you do certain things. And if they're coming up, accept that there's something for you to see, that perhaps you want to see a deeper depth of it to be able to find the truest form of you within that space. So thank you so much for listening. I hope this helps with understanding this period of the first quarter moon. Thank you.